Have you ever wondered if you can start trading with just $500? Because many people think that you need thousands of dollars to get into trading. Personally, I don't come from money. I started working in 2017 and back then I only had $2 in my bank account. So when I started trading in 2019, I didn't have thousands of dollars to blow on trading. And that is the exact reason I'm making this video, to show you that you can actually trade using a small account as small as $500 and reach a stage where you can actually make good amount of money from trading. Last month itself, I had two 20k trades and one 35k trade. I posted videos about those trades, sharing my broker screenshot and my actual orders and entries and exits. So it's not too good to be true. Honestly, day trading changed my life and it can do the same for you if you follow the right steps that I will be discussing in this video. In this video, I will break down everything you need to know to grow a small trading account, including the best brokers, the best strategies, the strategies I use personally, the mistakes to avoid, and finally, the most important thing, I'm going to be sharing my personal playbook with you guys, including the actual trades I took. Now, first of all, before we even start this video, I need you guys to understand your goal. And your goal with this $500 is consistency and skill building. Trading is not get rich quick scheme. Think about it as an investment. You're investing in yourself to learn a skill that might actually be life changing like it was for me. So keep your goal very, very clear in your mind. I'm going to keep repeating these goals throughout this whole video, and the goals are consistency and skill building. Now, the first step is to choose the right broker. Now, if you want to take trading seriously, unfortunately, you can't go with Robinhood like many other traders recommend, because you need to pay a bit of commissions for faster and better fills. And personally, I have been using interactive brokers since February 2020 for the past 5 years approximately, and everything is really good. The fills are really good, the withdrawals, deposit process, everything is really good. The second good broker is TD Ameritrade. Now I think it's Charles Schwab, and the only difference is that they have a really good platform. The Thinkorswim platform, the default platform they offer, it's really good and better than interactive brokers. But unfortunately, being a UAE resident, I was not able to open an account with them. But if you can open an account, I think it's the second best option you have. Now, the third option, I'm not affiliated with any of these brokers, but the first two options were US regulated. The third option is outside US. It's not regulated by US, but it's CMEG, and I personally use this broker for the first 6 to 7 months of my trading journey. Especially if you have a small trading account, this is a really good option. The good thing about CMEG is that because they're outside US, you can bypass the PDT rule. But again, I don't think so they open an account for specific US person, so I would highly recommend you guys to just email them with your circumstances. But the good thing is that they offer 6-to-1 margin. So if you have $500 in your trading account and you want to trade stocks or shares, you can take positions worth up to $3,000, which is really good, and I'm going to explain this further in the next step. I use CMEG personally for the first 7 months of my trading journey, never had any issues, but only use CMEG to bypass the PDT rule, which states that if you have less than $25,000 in your trading account, you can't day trade stocks, which I was doing when I started trading. I started with stocks, then I eventually moved over to options. So only use CMEG to bypass the PDT rule, and your goal should be eventually when you grow your account above $25,000, move over to the US regulated brokers, the first two options. Now comes the second step, which is arguably the most controversial step, is to select the right asset class or vehicle you want to trade. I'm gonna stick with 4 in my opinion. The first is Forex, the second is futures, the third is stocks, and the fourth is options. I said my opinion because you can also trade cryptos and NFT, but I'm gonna stick with these 4. Personally, I like to go with the inefficient markets and not the efficient markets, because I can argue that you can trade Forex and futures because these are efficient markets. You get a lot of leverage in these markets, but that doesn't mean you will be able to make money from these markets. A lot of beginner traders, they get motivated by the fact that you get a lot of margin when you want to trade Forex or futures. You can start trading Forex with like $100 and you can make $500 using $100, which is a lot of leverage, but that doesn't mean that you have an edge in the Forex market. You need to understand that the Forex market is controlled by the banks all over the world, and they lose or make money depending on the foreign exchange rate, and that's why it's highly efficient. Forex market usually moves like 0.5 to 1% every single day. If something crazy is going on in the world, it might move 2% in one day, maybe 5 days in a year, and that's why these markets are highly efficient. It's very difficult to find an edge in the Forex market. Compared to the stock market, you get individual stocks sometimes, even the mega cap companies like Meta, Amazon, and Google, they move 15 to 20% sometimes depending on some sort of news catalyst. When we get to the strategies part, I'm actually going to give you guys a few examples and you can see for yourself how sometimes when we have some sort of news catalyst on the stocks, the playbook setups, the price action is so much easier to trade compared to futures or forex. So personally, if I was a beginner trader, I would go with stocks or options, and that's what I did actually in 2019. So when I started trading in 2019, I started with CMEG. So I used the broker CMEG because you get 6-to-1 margin. So if you have $500 in your trading account, you can trade shares up until worth of say $3,000, which is good enough because with $3,000 you can risk about 0.5 to 1% of your account on one trade. That means you are risking around $15 to $30 of your account to potentially make, say, for example, on one trade $50 plus. That means 1.5 to 2 times the risk. This can be your stop loss, the red one, stop loss, and this is your profit target. And that is how I started trading, because my goal was again consistency and skill building, as I told you guys. Now I know a lot of you guys will be discouraged that okay, no, my goal is not to make $100 on trading, but as I told you guys, your goal is consistency and skill building. Because if you guys go on my Instagram and look at my post from 2019, scroll all the way to the bottom, you guys will be able to see I started with making $50, $30, $40. My first ever video on YouTube on trading was how I made $90. I was really happy, and that's why I made a video, because my goal was consistency and skill building. I'm learning a skill which can potentially make me thousands of dollars to now I actually can make $35,000 on one trade. So it's a process. But the good thing about this process is that you're actually focused on learning the skill instead of these trading influencers telling you to buy challenges on the prop trading firms, because if you lose those challenges, they get a kickback from it. So your money goes to the influencers you are supporting, and that's the business models of most of the prop firms out there. And the second good thing about this process is that yes, it might take you a while to find consistency. So if this is the time on the x-axis and the profit on the y-axis, it might take you a while. You might not make some money, you might lose money as well, but eventually once you find consistency, your growth will be exponential, because once you focus on the skill and once you have learned the skill, the next step is to size up, and eventually when you size up, your profits will go up exponentially. That's what happened to me, and that's what happens to most of the traders I know, those who are consistent in the stock market. So my recommendation is to start with stocks, focus on the goal, that is consistency and skill building. Once you have learned the skill, once you have consistency, and once you have a valid strategy in place, move over to options like I did. I have been trading options for the past 4 years, and they are amazing. Options are highly leveraged products. So that means you can actually get Forex kind of leverage in the stock market if you know how to trade them. They are very high risk, but very high reward as well. So only move over to option once you have a strategy in place, trading the stock market, and then you can move over to the option market, because with options you can lose your whole account on one trade. With stocks it's a bit difficult unless you are trading penny stocks, which I don't recommend you guys to do. Stick with the big names. So to summarize this step, start with stocks, learn how the market moves, refine your strategy, and then if you feel the need that you need more leverage, and more importantly you know how to manage your risk and control your risk, move over to option or stick with the stock market. And now comes the third step, which everyone has been waiting for. This is the fun step, because in this step you actually learn how to make money from the market, and this is the strategy step. I will show you a few trade examples, and then I will also show the price action and compare the price action of these examples to the forex and the futures market, and you will see for yourself that how you can have a really good edge in the stock market compared to the forex or the futures market. Let's now take a look at my playbook. So let's open Meta right here. So Meta, this was after the earnings. After the earnings, I actually made a YouTube video on this trade. You guys can go and watch the YouTube video. It will be linked in the description box below for a complete in-depth breakdown of this trade. On this stock, we had earnings, and what happened after the earnings is that it had a dip off the open, a bit of profit taking right here, and then it pushed towards the upside, and you guys can even see there was an increase in volume. So in the stock market, you can use volume to your advantage, which I don't think so is very accurate with the forex market, because the volume, there are like different brokers with different sort of volume. But in the stock market, it's centrally, it's regulated, it's controlled. So the volume that you see is going to be same on most of the big platforms. So you can actually use the volume analysis, the level 2 and the market depth, which actually shows you the actual orders in the stock market to your advantage. And this is what I teach and what we practice in the Discord community that we have. On the second trade right here, I took a loss off the open. On the second trade, the premiums moved from $4 to a high to like $5 to a high of $10. That means if you enter your position right here, you paid approximately $400 for one option contract, and that same contract went all the way to around $1,100. That is a return of more than 150% on this stock, and that that is the beauty of trading options. Let's now take a look at another example of ARM, and that is the beauty of the stock market, guys, because on this day as well, ARM had a bit of news catalyst, and the news was that the US government, they were investing $500 billion in the AI, and that project was called Stargate, and ARM was a part of it. And that's why we saw a gap up on this stock. We get a lot of these news catalyst plays, and that's why this market is inefficient. Sometimes we get a news catalyst and the stock can move 20-30% in one day, and that's what happened with this stock. I actually only made $20,000 on this trade, but this trade could have made me $80,000 because you guys can see the premiums moved from $2 all the way to around $8.5. So had I held my whole position, this trade would have paid me approximately $60,000 on an investment of $20,000 within 6 to 7 minutes. To know more about this trade and a complete breakdown of this trade, I made a YouTube video on this trade as well. It will be in the description box below. And now the last example I will show you guys is of a trade. I did not post a video about this trade because I did not take this trade personally, but our pro member in the Discord community, Leroy, he took this trade. He actually caught this trade with shares, and the shares moved from $70 to a high of around $76, which is approximately 9 to 10% move on the stock price in a matter of 6 to 7 minutes. And that's the beauty of the stock market. And I'm going to show you guys the price action also is so good. So Affirm had earnings on this day. It was gapping up after good earnings. They beat the earnings. You guys can see the green right here. It was gapping up, and then we had this major daily level which was acting as support now, 68.20, and this was the 52-week high, yearly high at 73.34. Right off the open, you guys can see on the 5 minutes chart right here, it touched that level to the penny, approximately to the penny, and then we had a good push towards the upside. And if you took shares on this stock, for example, you entered at $70 and you caught a move towards $76, which is 9% move. And like I mentioned previously, with a $500 account, you get a margin of $3,000 with CMEG. And with that margin, you could have actually made approximately $300 on this trade like our pro trader did, because this stock moved approximately 9 to 10% in a few minutes. You could have made $300. But again, I don't expect you guys to catch the bottom or top of the market, but you could have made $200 on a $500 account, which is insane, which is 40% return in one day because of news catalyst and really good price action. It's rare to see, it's impossible to see this kind of price action in the Forex or the futures market. The three examples I showed you guys, Meta moved approximately 4 to 5% in one day. ARM moved approximately 10% after the gap up. Intraday, it moved approximately 10 to 11%. And Affirm, this stock moved another 9% in a matter of 6 to 7 minutes. Let's now take a look at the Forex price action and see how this compares to the Forex price action. Let's take a look at AUD USD for an example, because I actually used to live in Australia, so I keep checking this. I don't know a lot about Forex, but we can see since 2022 to now 2024, AUD and USD has been stuck in this shitty range. And that's why it's very difficult to make money from the Forex market. You don't have any edge. Like once it breaks down like a clean push towards the upside, like I showed you after earnings, the Forex market moves when you have like a change in presidency or maybe a war is going on, which is once in a blue moon. But you get these kind of small news catalyst plays in the stock market almost every single day. Now let's take a look right here. As I told you, Affirm moved approximately 10%, Meta moved 5%, the biggest candle you can see on the Forex market. Let's take a look at this red candle, which was maybe around the elections. It moved only 2%. Yes, with leverage, you can catch, if you catch the high and bottom of this AUD USD, you make 2% with leverage. But in the stock market can move 10-15% with very good price action. On the Forex market, rarely you see good price action. It's a very efficient market because banks are controlling it and it usually stays in a range. So you have to wait a very long time. It's actually good for swing trading. But for day trading purposes, I believe stock market is way better than the Forex and the futures market because of the news catalyst and the good price action the stocks can have after these news catalyst plays. Now coming back to my playbook, you guys can see from this year itself, we have so many examples. We have like maybe 10 or 15 playbook setups, and most of these setups are because of news catalyst. You guys can see ER news catalyst, news catalyst, news catalyst, news catalyst, news catalyst. And first day of the year itself, January 2nd was the first trading day of the year. I took this ER/news catalyst setup because this stock had a bit of news catalyst first day of the year, and I made $22,000 on this trade. I also posted a video about this trade as well in the description box below. Now a gift for you guys. If you guys want this template, this Notion template for free that I have been working working on for the past few years. Click the first link in the description box below, register for free, and I will email you the template straight up, no questions asked. It will give you a really good starting point, and the only thing I ask in return is to like this video, share with your trading buddies, and subscribe if you are new to this channel. Now the fourth step, this step is also really important, is to focus on percentage growth. This is something that will keep you motivated, because making $30 might not sound a lot, but $30 on a $500 account is 6% of the account. $50 is 10%. The example I showed you on ARM, $200 is approximately 40% return on investment on that account. So always focus on percentage growth. Even as a beginner trader, you need to start focusing on percentages, because the good thing about percentages is that as your account grows, the percentage also grows. So as I showed you the meta trade, I made $35,000 on a $33,000 investment. So that is the beauty of focusing on percentages. I mean, I also remember whenever I used to even make $50 with trading stocks when I started trading, it used to sound and feel amazing. It even motivated me to work harder, because my goal was to focus on consistency and skill building. In this step, you now need to also start working on your mindset and trading psychology. Just keep in mind that working on your mindset and emotion only comes after having a good strategy. So once you have dialed down your technical analysis, you know what you're doing, and you have a valid strategy in place, then is the time to focus on the mindset, the trading psychology, and the emotions. For example, after you find an edge, you are facing difficulty sizing up or sizing down, being greedy, holding onto your losers, or cutting your winners too short, then you got to start working on the trading psychology. For this, you have to read a few books, unfortunately, but after talking about the books, I will give you a shortcut that will only take 15 minutes, and you will learn everything you have to learn about trading psychology. The first book is The Daily Trading Coach by Dr. Brett Steenbarger. I have listened to this book like 12 times on Audible. It's one of the best books I like personally on trading psychology. The second book is Trading in the Zone. Now, it will take you around 10 plus hours to read these two books, but if you just watch my video, Mastering Trading Psychology, you get the best bang for your buck in 15 minutes. That video will be linked in the description box below and towards the end of this video as well. As I mentioned previously, I will also link all the other videos I talk about in this video, like Meta Trade, ARM Trade, Tesla Trade. Everything will be in the description box below. So if you are a beginner trader starting out with $500, you don't have to go anywhere else. Everything is on this YouTube channel. Finally, the fifth step, which is the most important step, this step was actually the most important step in my own trading journey, is to find a community, a group of traders. The only thing that pros have is that they have a community. I remember when I started out, no one around me was able to understand what I was actually trying to do. I mean, yes, I had the support from my friends and family, but not understanding. There's a big difference. Whereas if you are trading for a prop firm, you are surrounded by traders working towards the same goal, and that is what you have to create for yourself as a retail trader. And now again, this is not a plug for our own community, but we are one of the best ones out there, because we share both our losses and the wins, which is rare to find. Last week itself, I traded very poorly. I was red for the week, and then eventually I made it to green, but I shared everything, all my red days in the Discord community, and I get a lot of support from the members as well. But yeah, even before I created our own community in 2021, I was part of two other communities, good ones, and I learned a lot from them. I was one of the most active traders in both of those communities, and even now the owners, the head traders, they know me personally. I have met them a few times as well. So if you want to join our community, you are most welcome. If not, just find something good, honest, and real. And actually for this video, I will set up a coupon code called REAL, REAL, which you can use at checkout. It will be in the description box below, the link and the coupon code. I won't post this coupon code anywhere else, not on Instagram, not in any of my other YouTube videos. It's only for people who watch this video until this point, because if you guys watch this long video until the end, I know you guys are serious about trading, you are taking it seriously, and I want to help you out. Also, I think it's a good time to mention now, if it's not already clear, that you will most certainly lose the $500 you start with. As I told you at the beginning of this video, that your goal is not to make money, but it's skill building. Once you watch this video and you want to learn more about trading, just do a search on YouTube, watch my other videos, and if you want to learn more about options, just search how to trade options. It's easy if you have the time to sort through the BS content online on moving averages, indicators, how to use moving averages for your entries and exits, and actually find the good stuff online. Personally, when I started, I didn't have time. I had a full-time job in the morning and I was trading at night, and I was barely sleeping 2 to 3 hours every day. So I just personally bought 2 courses because time was of essence to me, and I invested around $5,000 in those 2 courses, and I also lost about $8,000 to $10,000 in the first few months of my trading journey before eventually I found my edge and started printing money from trading. The last mentorship I offered was in 2023, and ever since I haven't even talked about the mentorship called the Summit in like 14 months, but the viewers of this channel have just been filling out the form in the description box below, and we have like 3,000 2,000 submissions in that form without even talking about it in my videos. We only accept like 50 people in one summit. So because of this interest, I'm planning to do the next summit, Summit 4.0, in the next few months. And if you guys are interested, just register your interest with the link in the description box below. You just have to fill out your email and we will keep sending you updates. I hope it's clear that you will most likely lose your $500, and this also means that trading can't be your only source of income as a beginner. I know it's difficult, but you need to have a separate source of income to start with to fund both your life and your trading account, because the worst thing you can do as a beginner is to have that constant thought of making money from trading to fund your lifestyle or your Lambos. One bonus tip before we end this video, because this was game changing for my trading journey, is to start journaling from day one. Thankfully, I started journaling from day one, but don't waste any time. Journal every single day. Take screenshots of your trades, mark your entries and exits, your thought process, your game plan, and at the end of the day, rate yourself and find something to work on the next day. Find your mistakes or something to improve upon every single day. Do your daily, weekly, and monthly reviews as well. To learn everything about my journaling process, the video will be linked in the description box below. If you guys like this video, give this video a thumbs up. If you guys are new to my channel, subscribe to my channel for a lot more content on day trading. Also follow me on Instagram. I post a lot of good day trading content on Instagram as well. Good luck with your $500 account, and I will see you guys in the next one.